Hi guys, it's been a minute. I was going to make a joke about myself, but let me just leave it there. I know the last time people saw me, I was screaming all over the place. I was even surprised that I have that kind of voice. Today, I'm talking about the impeachment. And interestingly, every single, well, not every single, but when we talk about vice presidencies in our country, a lot of them have been tumultuous. It's very rare to hear of vice presidents who are solid. I think one of the only ones who was pretty mellow was Wamalwa. Kalonzo had his own beef, and we've had vice presidents actually being replaced under Moi, almost three. And now we're seeing the deputy president. We all know that former President Uhuru and WSR, they had their two situation, but it never really got to this point. So the fact that we are here, why we here, what do I think? One, we are testing the constitution. Every single time it's debated in the National Assembly, every single time matters are brought up in court, the public is learning more and more about rulings and what the constitution means to the Kenyan people. We are definitely testing it. So within the constitution, the president and the deputy are elected under one ticket, but they are judged separately. So you can definitely have the DP impeached separately from the president, or the president impeached separately from the DP. So their performance can be measured separately. And this is an interesting dynamic because right after, if the impeachment happens, then it means that, the president will have at least 2 weeks to nominate a replacement. The reason why I don't necessarily agree with what's going on right now is because of the place of our representatives. It just seems like total vendetta. It doesn't really have anything to do with the public, with the graft, and even the fact that they are placing almost 11 different particular instances or cases, and basically to prove that there's gross misconduct in regards to the constitution. So what we're gonna see is the rampant corruption within this administration. So by highlighting, for instance, we've seen they're saying that Gachagua managed to accrue 5.2 billion over the last 2 years, and even sharing that his sons or family members were being used as proxies for other various businesses, some of them up to 11. This is going to expose not only his family, not only him, but also the president as well. It's one of those things where when you anika one person, unamulika mwingine. And for me, this is fantastic because we're able to see the in-house in terms of the kind of corruption. We know it's there. We know the scandals are many, but now we will get to know detail that wasn't there before. And now it's first-hand detail at a high level. Fantastic for the public. The other thing is the fact that we're hearing how legislators, MPs are just signing, they're just following directives to sign. I'm just like, this 13th house, man, they just lost their backbone. So to get that 1/3 is going to be easy. Now to move to the next stage where they need the 2/3 before it goes into the impeachment trial. I'm curious to know how the public participation is going to be. Obviously tokenistic, because right now this is not our concern. We do not necessarily care about DP being impeached. That is a concern of the political class, but they're forcing it down the throats of people and going to the different counties to make sure that they do some public participation, which will be tokenistic, and to drive around the fact that, hey, we did public participation, because we've seen if we do not check this box, the courts are going to make sure that they throw out this entire process and this trial. Do I think that by removing the DP that Ruto, the president, will be able to consolidate power? No. I think it's going to be a lot harder than he imagines. I think there's just so much going on in the country in terms of some of these whistleblowers that we're seeing. Shout out to Nelson Amani. They're going to be coming out of the woodworks even during this particular trial. And also when we begin to see how people are going to consolidate unfortunately, based on tribe. That's going to even create a more divisive nature way too early into the year, because we're talking about, we still have more than 2.5 years left before the next election. So as of now, Rao seems distracted with AU. ODM is sort of just floating around, and they will float around. But once April, March comes around, actually February, when we know, we're going to see a lot of political organizing happening. So I do think they're going to push for the impeachment, but I do believe Gachagua will go down kicking. He's not going to make this easy, and he's going to make sure he drags as many people as possible with him, which I think is fantastic, because we need that chaos in governance. The political class cannot be united right now.